So the cable goes up, 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 and then it hits John, and it's like, oh my god. Hi, I'm back. Anyways, so after nearly a year of riding this bike and couple thousand kilometers, I have some things to say about it. Some good and some bad, so let's go. Also, I cut the stereo tube so there's not a chimney on it, so it looks good now. So let's get on to the stuff that I dislike. Well, it's not really dislike, it's more of annoyed, because the thing is, this frame is like $390 US, so it's dirt cheap. So I can't really complain, but yeah, here are some little things that annoy me. Firstly, it's the cable routing. Like, what is this? Why couldn't they have just routed it through the down tube? It just looks weird. Now in terms of actual shifting quality, it's fine, but I think it would have been better if they just routed it through the down tube like everyone else. Now, also with regards to cable routing, the front derailleur and the rear derailleur both go through the same hole, as you can see up here. Now, in order to prevent those cables from like wrapping around, they've had to separate it using this little weird piece, and I don't know, it's a bit finicky in my opinion. I don't know what it's called, so for this video, I'll just call it John. Do let me know in the comments what it's called though, because I have no idea. So here's a drawing of John for easier understanding. Yeah, I know it's not a very good drawing, I'm not an artist. But the problem with John is that stuff goes in, but doesn't come out. You know these white cable sleeves that come with the frame to help route your cables? Yeah, they're great for cabling your new bike, but when it comes to recabling your bike, that's a whole different story. So here's another crappy drawing. Hopefully you can understand what it is. So the white cable sleeve goes over the cables, so it goes all the way down the chainstay and then out through the bottom bracket. But then we get to the down tube, and that's where the fun begins. So the cable goes up, 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 and then it hits John, and it's like, oh my god. So it kind of bends at an angle, kind of like this. I mean, I doubt it's that aggressive, well, I hope it isn't. But because it bends like this, I just can't get my white cable sleeve through, which was such a pain in the ass. Oh, so I was just stuck. I didn't know what to do. So I did what I do best, and that is panic. So being the home mechanic that I am, I wanted to fix it myself, which turned out to be a great idea. So I did a ton of research, like internet forums and YouTube videos and all that. YouTube videos like GCN and yeah, that's it honestly. So with all of my research, I got the genius idea to take one end of the cable, to the metal cable, to the other end of the plastic cable. Now if you've ever taped an oily surface, you know where this is going. So I started near the end of the frame here, near the rear derailleur, and boom, and then I taped it together once, and then I taped it together twice, because in my mind, it was like wearing two condoms, you know? 199.8% protection in theory, but in reality, it makes everything worse. So I started pulling the cable slowly by slowly until it reached the bottom bracket area, because you know there's an opening there, so I can kind of see it. So I saw it come out, then I was like, wow, this shit is easy. I should be like a mechanic for the Koenig's Quickstep or something. And then after that, it was time for the dreaded down tube. So millimeter by millimeter I was pulling it up, so it was going up, 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 until the connection point hit John. And at that point, I felt resistance. So I was like, oh my god. So I had two choices. Number one, pull the connection point all the way back and restart the linkage. So instead of using tape, I would use like glue or something to glue the things together, because this is John up here. Ouch. So this is John and this is the cable. So see, the cable can pass through because it's smaller than John, obviously. So this is John and this is the connection point. Boom, it can't go through. So yeah, I had to find a different way to connect them. So I had to pull all the way through. So I could either do that, which was number one, or do number two, which was to pull the cable through and just pray. Now because number one is a better choice, I did number 2. In my defense, by the time I had already reached this point, it had been about 3 hours, so I was pretty freaking tired. So yeah, I picked number 2, which was to pull the cable. Obviously not like but more like millimeter by millimeter. And after about what seemed like an eternity, which was probably about 10 seconds, I no longer felt resistance. So, you know, initially there was the resistance because this was John, and this was the tape. You know, the tape couldn't pass through John, so I didn't feel any resistance anymore. And I was like, oh my god, yes! So I pulled it out, and you won't believe what was attached to the end of the cable. I was like, oh my god, you have to be shitting me. It sounds funny, but at that point I was devastated. A home mechanic having to admit defeat is just like... So I sent my bike to the local bike shop, and to my surprise, they didn't laugh at me. I was totally expecting them to go like, ha, look at that idiot. So yeah, thanks guys, cheers. But yeah, it was a horrible experience. But after about 2 days, my bike was done and all was well and dandy. Now before I get into number 2, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Raid Shadow. No, I'm just kidding. So number 2 is the crappy rear derailleur hanger. Or Mac hanger, as some people call it. It's the same. Now, in terms of design, it's fine, in my opinion. I'm not an expert in Mac hanger design or just design in general, so in my opinion, it's fine. What isn't alright, however, is the material used. Now, I'm not an expert in anything, so I could be wrong, but from my knowledge, I know that the Mac hanger is supposed to be a sacrificial part so that when you crash, your rear derailleur doesn't break or your frame doesn't break. But like, damn dude, is it supposed to flex like this? Now, I am by no means strong, but I can literally bend it back. And yeah, because it's so soft, I just use my hands to bend it back. It's not perfect, but whatever, it gets the job done. Also, if you're wondering why I don't just remove the Mac hanger from the frame and then remove the rear derailleur from the Mac hanger so that I can straighten it out by using a mallet or something, or just stepping on it, it's because it has almost no threads left. Why? Because it's so soft. So when I was installing my rear derailleur, I installed it like a tiny bit off, and that was enough to strip threads. Yay. So that's why I don't remove my rear derailleur to straighten out the Mac hanger. It's because I'm afraid that the rear derailleur won't be able to thread back in. Now, I have told Deli here about this shitty rear Mac material, and they were like, okay. So guess what they did? They put up new listings for rear derailleur hangers. Yay. Anyways, one thing I know about this frame is that the shitty Mac hanger and this shitty internal cable routing is not Deliha's fault. Because if you see this frame here from Trifox and this frame here from Costello, they are identical. So it's actually not Deliha's fault for these two things. But what is their fault is the potentially dangerous headset on their Deliha tank, which I made a video about right here. Or here, I have no idea. But anyways, if you have learned something from this video or at least have been entertained by my suffering, feel free to leave a like and a subscribe. It really helps the channel. But as always, I will see you guys next time. Good night everybody.